everyone, I welcome you all to my channel. Today I'll be showing you how to make your peplum stand. I consider this as the easiest way to make your peplum stand. So you will need a fabric, you will need a matching lining, and of course you will need a crinoline. So the first thing I'm going to do is to get the crinoline and trim off the rough edges. I'm going to do this for both ends. So as you can see me do, I'm going to trim it off gently. And the next thing I'm going to do is to get a bias. It doesn't have to be the same color with the fabric, neither does it have to even match with the lining. Meanwhile, you can also make use of the fabric. Just cut a reasonable amount of fabric and wrap it around the crinoline as you can see me do. So you're going to stitch. I'm going to give it a straight stitch carefully, making sure that the crinoline is not pulling off. Yeah, so I'm just going to stitch carefully. I'm going to stitch carefully. I'm just trying to be careful. Yeah, so I'm going to use this with a peplum. I've already cut it and I've equally cut the lining. I'm assuming that you all know how to cut your peplum, so there won't be any need to go through all of that again. So the next thing I'm going to do is just to trim off the excess bias on both sides. So the next thing I'm going to, this is what it looks like. So the next thing I'm going to do is to place it on the lining first. So I've placed it on the lining. So I deliberately did not make the crinoline equal. I didn't make it the same length with the lining. I came upward a little, like I came upward by like ½ inch. So you're going to do yours like this as well. If you make it the same length with the lining, it's rubber. By the time you turn it, it's not going to be flat. It's going to be bulky kind of. So it is best this way. So I have gone ahead to stitch. So I place the lining and the fabric right side facing right side. I pin around. The next thing I'm going to do is to stitch the lower part. I'm going to join the lining and the fabric together, and I'm going to do it as I'm going to stitch as close as possible to the crinoline. I've done that. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. Yeah, I'm just going to trim off the excess. The next thing I'm going to do is to stitch the other side of the crinoline. So I'm going to stitch it still on the lining alone. On the lining alone. I'm going to stitch the other side of the crinoline. I've already started. I started with around ½ an inch. And then you will notice that as I proceed, the allowance is getting wider. It is for a reason. As time goes on, the crinoline starts to get bumpy, and I need it to be flat. In fact, as flat as possible. So at this junction, I'm going to need my both hands to flatten it. That's what I'm trying to do. So the only way to secure the flatness is to make the stitch at this point wider. So you can see it's wider. It's about 1 inch. There is no particular measurement to it. So I'm just going to go this way, and you can see I'm achieving the flatness. Yes. So that's how you are going to. It's a little delicate, I must confess. At this point, it is a little delicate, but if you're very patient, it's not difficult. You just need to be calmer at this point. So I've gotten to the end, just trying to secure the stitch. So the next thing I'm going to do is to join the side. That's what I'm doing now. Going to join the side, the two sides. At this point now, I'm stitching both the fabric and the lining together. So when I'm done, that sharp edge, I'm just going to give it a little cut so that by the time I turn it, it's not going to look funny. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. So I'm just going to turn it to the right side of the fabric. I'm going to trim every necessary areas like that crinoline that is showing. Just going to trim it. I'm turning it now. The next thing I'm going to do, this is what it looks like. The next thing I'm going to do is to give it a good press. If you have a steam iron, it's going to be of great help at this junction. This is what it looks like after pressing. Can you see the difference? Yeah, so I'm just going to stitch that place so that when I'm attaching it to the bodice, it won't adjust. This is the final look, guys. Thank you so much for watching.